Hey now, so we're back. We're going to talk today about Mordecai Brown. Mordecai Brown, really interesting person. For those of you that don't know, his nickname was Three Finger Brown. He had an ERA. Sorry, he had an ERA. He had the lowest ERA of any pitcher that won more than 200 games. He has the third lowest ERA all time, but yet he was not elected to the Hall of Fame in his lifetime. And he lived quite a long time. He lived to like the 1940s or early 1950s. He was a member of the 1908 Cubs World Series team, which made him very popular in the collecting worlds lately, especially since the Cubs finally going to win the World Series back in 2016. For those of you that don't know, he had his fingers mangled in a horrible accident as a kid. I'm going to show a picture in a second, but that actually helped his baseball game. It helped him develop a great curveball, and he put a really unique spin on the ball that made it almost impossible. I should say impossible, but very tough for hitters to see. So let's take a look at first of all, let's take a look at Mordecai Brown real quickly. So this is his finger. I mean, he was look at it, the index finger is completely severed off. His other fingers, you can see this got chipped, cut off also. And just a very interesting, his finger's permanently broken, but for whatever reason. So whatever. I mean, it's a very tough autograph, very popular autograph. So let's take a look at it right now. First, before we do that, this is my autograph for Mordecai Brown. And what's interesting about this was the first autograph I ever spent four figures on. I remember buying it. I was really nervous. This is an endorsed check. There are quite a few of those out there, but unfortunately, there's a couple of fake ones, and I do have a picture one we'll show later. When I say fake, it's not intentionally fake. It was secretarially signed. They're not sure if it was by his wife or by a secretary, but we do know it was not signed by Mordecai Brown. So things to look for in Brown's signature. The first name, especially the M, which you'll see later, changed a lot as he got older. It became higher, whereas the M comes up, and there's actually a little loop right here, and it comes back down. Some things also you really want to look for is the C right here should be standalone. Almost every autograph I see, it's by itself. And again, with the Brown, very important, you want to see this loop for all signatures. The Brown stayed pretty much consistent his entire life. The Brown is fairly unpronounced, as you can see here. It's kind of like the Mordecai is choppy everywhere you look here. So, but the Brown is fairly flat, as you can see. But the big thing is the end, it loops with the loops pointing up to the sky. So if we go to the PSA autograph database here, I mean, we'll start right here. This is an earlier autograph, and you can see right here the M is very different as opposed to later in life M right here. This M, it dips down. So the M comes down and it dips down. It doesn't loop back up and come straight. But again, the C right here, again, is a standalone C. The Brown, the B loops around. It's very flat, as I like to see. The only real letter you can make out is the B and the O, but the N again comes straight up. Again, another very similar signature. This could be the same. I don't know if it's the same. Oops, sorry. Okay, we'll come back to those. This right here is probably the only known signed 8x10 autograph of Mordecai Brown. This Dr. C.S. Stein. It was a very famous auction. This doctor lived in Oregon, and he would mail to all these players around the country with these sporting news insert. And at the time, obviously, players were not charging for their autograph. They were very kind, and they sent it back. Now, a lot of Mordecai Brown autographs he signed for fans. He put a Cub at the bottom, which you can see right here, and he underlined the Cub. That's very common. Now, again, this is a little bit later in life signature. You can see where the M, again, loops around. Very nice. Mordecai. Again, you can see the C right there, standalone. And again, the Brown is actually a really nice Brown. It still loops around. The N goes up, but it's a little more pronounced than the other Mordecai Browns you're going to see here. This ball is really tough. Ron K doesn't think any balls exist of Mordecai Brown that are single signed, and he could be right. I mean, the Brown here is actually pretty well pronounced. It's not something you see every day. So I think he would think this is a fake. It's a pretty good fake. But again, his name is not that hard to forge. This is really cool. REA sold this for about $8,000. This is he owned a gas station back in Terre Haute, Indiana after he retired. And this is a beautiful signature right here of probably like a business card or something. And you can see right here, you got the loop, the M coming down, the nice little C by itself. The brown is very pronounced. You really don't ever see a brown this nicely. And something about his later signatures also, I should have mentioned earlier, you can see that slant to the right a little. And again, the N comes up. I think this is a real signature, just really nice. Again, this is a more common signature he would send to a fan. The C by itself, you can see right here. Again, this is uncommon where you can see there's a lot of breaks in his name. But again, the B loops around, the N comes up. A Cub, again, a very common salutation he signed here. We looked at that before. Another one here, again, very differently. Again, here we have a more common signature later in life. Again, the Mordecai Brown, you got the little loop you can still see right down here. The R, the C is single sign right here. The R, again, this is more common. It's a lot of times the R even looks like an E, like an uppercase E you can see here. Again, not that uncommon. You have the Cub here underlined. So again, here we go. Another very common signature. This is a government postcard. Again, this is nicer in the sense that I guess for some of these, he did sign a more nice name. Again, the B loops around. You can see the M with the loop coming down. The E, the R, which looks like a capital E leaning. And again, the C by itself. That's about it on the PSA database, I want to say. Okay, this is another signed check similar to mine. Unfortunately, with this one, you can see somehow it got some water or the ink feathered. But again, very common right here. The M loops around. You see that big loop right here coming straight down. The break looks like the R looks like a capital E. The C is by itself. The B loops around. It's a fairly flat brown, but with the N coming straight up. Now, I really like the dividend checks. I mean, yeah, we can keep going through them. They're all very common. They're all very similar. He had a very consistent signature, which is nice, with the exception of the M. And if you go to the Heritage database, this is another Mordecai Brown's autograph baseball. Now, again, this is a little odd in the sense that it's off-centered, and the B is very well, sorry, the brown here is very well pronounced. The R is attached. It doesn't look like a capital E. And again, according to Ron, there's a date right here of August 28th, 1919. Ron, and I probably agree with Ron saying, like, listen, these are not real. No one was asking for a single sign dated Mordecai Brown in 1919. It didn't happen. Again, his autograph is rare because he was such a great pitcher. He got in the Hall of Fame. Cubs are a very popular team. But unfortunately, he got in the Hall of Fame after he passed away, a year after, which unfortunately in the 50s was all too common. I mean, like him, Heilman, and I'm trying to think who else. There are a lot of them. Oh, right after they got passed away, we're going to put them in. So that's about it. Now, what I wanted to show you here is this is a Mordecai Brown check. This was on Small Traditions, which is no longer around. They had a big controversy. I remember when this check came up. This is a real dividend check made out to Mordecai Brown. But if you can see right here, it really, besides the N looking up, it looks nothing like what a Mordecai Brown should look like. But a TPA, I won't mention who, did pass this. I remember they had two of these checks. And the other one also, it was signed more in the middle right here. So you really, I don't know how it got passed, but unfortunately, once an autograph is certified, it becomes real. And I use that term in quotations. So this sold for almost $1,000. But again, no chance this is real. Everything about this is bad. You can see that even though it's a blurry picture, the C is attached to the A and the I. Again, someone not Mordecai Brown signed this check, but it did get passed through. So his autograph, I think I paid $1,200 for that check right here when I got it. But I mean, this right here, I mean, his autograph really has gone up in value. I mean, a check right now endorsed will go for about $3,000. Government postcards are about $4,000. Bill, the Hall of Fame collector, got a great deal on a check last year. I won't go into too much detail. So I was able to secure one for him, though, for under $2,000, which is really unheard of. You're not going to see that anymore. I mean, if we go back to Heritage right here, you can see what the recently sold prices are. Maybe. Let's take a look back here. Yeah, so you can see right here, signed check from in 2018 was $1,680. But again, even since the big craze coming up recently, they've gone up much higher. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot. They don't pop up that often. Again, 2019 government postcard 2600. Here's another first day cover 2019 2600. And again, the prices have gone up since in 2020. They've gone up a lot. So again, here's one from 2020 when that's now you're up to about $3,000. I saw a government postcard from Arriego for like $4,000. So I mean, you're going to spend a lot of money for a Mordecai Brown genuine signature, but he's got just a fascinating story to me. And the 1908 Cubs are really picking up popularity lately. So that's about it with Mordecai Brown. I'm going out of town, so I'm not going to have a chance to shoot another autograph pickup. So the next one would be Raymond Brown. Really tough autograph. So probably about 10 of his. But again, that's a little preview, a little peek into the next one, which I'll probably shoot about a week from now. So that's about it. As always, keep collecting.